Right, so just filled up at the Asda filling station that used to be the Co-op filling station here in Ingleton. I noticed that Asda have bought out quite a few of the Co-op ones in this neck of the woods. The one in Settle certainly turned into an Asda, this one. And anyway, so we're off to Sedbergh, and from Sedbergh we're going to Hawes. Hey! The Sedbergh to Hawes road, it's a cracker. Stick around. Right, and God willing, or GoPro willing rather, hey, you'll be able to ride along with us. So, out on the Moto Guzzi V7 Stone Special Edition again today. It's a Saturday in the middle of August. It's dry. It's about, well, say it's about, according to that, it's 17.5 degrees out. Oh, I think about by the time we get a bit nearer lunchtime, it'll be a little bit warmer, and around about the seasonal average for the north of the United Kingdom, apparently. So we've just had to do the boring old schlep up the A65, which, for those of you who are familiar with the A65 in this neck of the woods, it's a right pain in the arse of a road. It gets ram jam full of all the holiday traffic, and we're right in the middle of holiday season, of course. And the laminar flow effect, or whatever they call it, of traffic, it stops and starts. And the one thing that you can guarantee, on top of death and taxation, is a speed detection van on this road. Yeah, that's the thing with the A65 as well. When you do encounter slow moving traffic, there's a very good chance you're also going to encounter these double white lines, so you can't get past, because you're not allowed to cross them. They're solid white lines, except in certain exceptional circumstances. But I have to say, today just about every other bike we've seen's been quite happy to cross over those double whites. The only problem with that now is you only need one pissed off car driver with a dash cam and you're grassed up. Hey! Yeah, every other car's got a wannabe traffic cop in it these days. Well, I don't know if I'm going to speak too soon here, but this here bike mounted camera, that's the longest it's stayed on recording for the best part of a fortnight. A fortnight, that's 2 weeks. Right, so I've no luggage on this here bike, this Moto Guzzi V7. I did have some semi-rigid panniers on, but I came to conclusion with spoiling the lines of the bike. So I'm back to having no carrying capacity, so I've got my retro man bag slung over my shoulder at a camp angle. Hey! Yes, it's a Larry Grayson special. So, Devil's Bridge, and thence to Sedbergh. So this will be bikes aplenty here. Alright. Oh, 450 MT, CF Motor 450 MT. I think that's the first one I've seen. Out on the road, that is. Now, one of the channels I really like to watch, and it's just getting better and better, is Classic Rides. Matt runs that channel, and what I absolutely love about that channel is, you know, it's not about product reviews and bike reviews and talking bollocks like I do. I shamelessly admit that certainly the bike reviews that I started doing on this channel is as much about the fun associated with the test riding new bikes as it was about growing the channel, but that's just the reality of YouTube. But any road up, but yeah, Classic Rides, way more subscribers than me, more than double my subscribership. But he's stayed true to his formula as Matt. Beautiful videography. He is a professional photographer, but beautiful videography. They're almost like artistic set pieces that he does in terms of ride outs and motorcycle camping. And it's what motorcycling is all about. I watch that channel because it tells a story. Every episode tells a story, and there's not a huge amount of commentary to a lot of those videos. It's all about the visual content and the storytelling. Fabulous. So a cracking channel you've got there, Matt. Keep up that work. It's certainly an inspiration to me. And if you go to his website, www.classic-rides.co.uk, there's a lot more information there, particularly concerning some of the suitable places he's found to camp and get as close to wild camping as you can in this country, because you cannot wild camp in this country because all the bloody land's owned by somebody. It's not like in the States. But anyway, don't get me started on that. Oh, we'll go into a bit of history about that. Quite interesting. But yeah, some really nice motorcycle camping spots. that are detailed on his website, and some cracking retro inspired vintage style bags and tool rolls and whatever. Cracking kit. Anyway, I like to plug as best I can the other YouTube channels that I really enjoy, and that's one of my favourites for sure. And Matt has his T120 Bonneville and his recently acquired Royal Enfield Classic 350. Yeah, cracking channel that, go check it out. Classic rides. Right, land, not being able to wild camp here like you can in the States. There's another channel in the States that's the closest one I've found to classic rides really, and it's called Motorcycle Travel Channel, and it's run by a fella called Sterling Norren, who's a professional filmmaker, documentary filmmaker. And a lot of his stuff is similar, but of course over there in the States, he's based in southern Arizona, but over there in the States, of course, you can wild camp, and in fact it's encouraged, because there are wild camping sites where things like benches and fire pits and what have you are provided. And they have things over there called BDRs, back road discovery routes, little off the track single track roads that are ideally suited to motorcycling. But you can't do that here, because just about all the land is owned, it's not common land. A lot of it's for farming, but a lot of it's just owned, period, by somebody else. And that's why there's always fences and walls and all of these things that by and large you don't see in the United States. Which is fine, I don't have an issue with farming, we all need farming. But a lot of it, yeah, it's just privately owned, and you might think, well, if it belongs to somebody else, fair enough, it's their land, it's not your land. Well, that's not quite true, you know. Because if you go back far enough in history, the history of land ownership in this country, private land ownership, and times of serfdom, and feudal existences, where there were only really, economically speaking, two kinds of people: the landowning aristocracy and the people that worked for the land and paid for the privilege and were granted rights of residency by the landowner, and that were basically the only way you could have anywhere to live or anywhere to earn a living. Put food on the table and a roof over your head, you had to work for the gaffer that owned the land. That's how it was. Feudalism. And so that all came about on the back of, as I understand it, good old Bill the Conk, William the Conqueror, who apparently, when he conquered, the Norman conquest and all that, when he conquered the British Isles, he divvied all the land up, and give it all to his mates, basically. That's all he did. This country is now mine, and I'm going to keep a load of it for myself, because I've conquered it, but I don't need it all, so the rest of it I'm going to give it to my mates. There you go, lads, fill your boots, off you go. And so all the land ownership, the vast swathes of open land that you can see here that are not farmland, that are owned not because basically somebody's grafted all the lives and being able to acquire it, but because it's just been handed down generation after generation. And what's been handed down is basically what was stolen from the people by old Bill the Conk and all his mates that he divvied it up to. So that's great, isn't it? It's great if you can just land somewhere and say, this now belongs to me, it's mine. And that is the extent of the claim to ownership of a lot of the land in this here country. Certainly in England and Wales. I think it's a little bit different in Scotland. But yeah, that's the backstory to all of that. So in theory, nobody's entitled to it. Nobody that's you know, by reason of inheritance, by being a member of the right family, and has got you know, thousands of square miles of land, is actually entitled to it because it was wrongly appropriated many hundreds of years ago. But that don't make it right. So anyway, that's why you can't wild camp in this here country, because the land that were common land were all nicked. It were all stolen from the people and divvied up to a load of mates of the bloke laying claim to the country way back then. Anyway, welcome to Sedbergh. And we'll shortly be hanging a right onto the Hawes road, which is a cracker. And I'm hoping Andy will, if he don't wave me in front, which he occasionally does if he thinks it's getting a bit scenic, if you can remember to pull in to the lay-by area that we did last time we were in this neck of the woods up by Garsdale, because I've got myself a fudge flavoured milkshake and a bit of a beef sandwich going on in my little man bag. Okay, what's that there by then? That's fair loaded up, isn't it? Look at that, what's that there by? That's an old BMW. Did I say right? I meant left. I'm saying right because Hawes, do you want to pull in at that lay-by we did last time for a bite? You remember? So they're the Howgills, you see, yeah? The Howgills. That look like big armchairs. And they do indeed.